Cami isn't just planning a move, she's setting off a chain reaction that could destroy everyone in her path. Everyone who thought they were untouchable is about to see just how wrong they were. Secrets, betrayals, and power games are about to collide, and the question isn't if she will strike, it's who will survive when she does. In the world of corporate power, every decision, every whisper, and every alliance can become a weapon. Cami has learned this the hard way. She didn't get to where she is by following rules, she got there by studying weaknesses, exploiting mistakes, and always staying 3 steps ahead of everyone around her. Her rise in the company wasn't quiet or easy. It was calculated, deliberate, and ruthless. From the very beginning, she watched the boardroom with the eyes of a hawk, noticing who feared her, who underestimated her, and who thought they were untouchable. Each one of them carried secrets, and each secret was a potential advantage that Cami could turn into a tool. The people who run this company aren't heroes, they are sharks in suits, ready to bite the first sign of weakness. But Cami is different. She doesn't just react, she plans. She knows the value of timing and patience. While others fight over small gains, she sets her sights on moves that could change the entire game. In meetings, she listens more than she speaks, letting others reveal their priorities, their fears, and their ambitions. Every conversation, every gesture is stored in her memory and cataloged for future use. What might look like loyalty is often a mask, a way to learn what people truly want and how they might feel. Beneath the polished floors and glass walls of the corporate towers, rivalries run deep. Cami has been in the middle of countless power struggles, and each has taught her valuable lessons. Some colleagues tried to undermine her, spreading rumors and trying to block her promotions. Others pretended to be allies, only to betray her. When the chance arose, she's experienced both ends of deception. She knows the sting of being betrayed, but she also knows the satisfaction of turning betrayal back on those who dared to cross her. Every loss she suffered became a lesson. Every slight became a blueprint for her future strategy. Now, the atmosphere in the company is tense. People whisper about missing files, suspicious deals, and sudden resignations. Nobody sees the full picture yet, but Cami does. She's already a few moves ahead, quietly orchestrating her next steps while everyone else fights over scrap. She's learned that in the corporate world, knowledge is power, patience is an advantage, and timing is everything. The people around her may think they are in control, but they are blind to the storm she's about to unleash. Cami doesn't need to threaten anyone openly. She lets events unfold in a way that forces people to reveal themselves. When someone acts hastily, makes a mistake, or shows overconfidence, Cami is ready. She's building a web around the key players, knowing exactly who will falter and who will try to fight back. And she isn't playing for minor wins, she's planning moves that could topple the entire corporate structure, and anyone standing in her way could be collateral damage. The first signs of her next plan are subtle. A late-night email here, a carefully worded memo there, meeting scheduled at just the right time to expose tensions among executives. These small acts seem innocent on the surface, but each one is designed to set the stage for something bigger. Cami understands that destruction doesn't happen overnight. It's built piece by piece, and she has the patience to wait until the moment is perfect. Her colleagues underestimate her, as they often do. They see the polite smiles, the quiet demeanor, and assume she's harmless. But those who know her history remember the deals she's already turned to her advantage, the rivals she's already outmaneuvered, and the subtle but powerful moves she's made when no one was looking. She's not reckless, she's precise. And in a world where one wrong move can end careers, Cami's precision is deadly. Everyone has a price, everyone has a weakness, and everyone has secrets. Cami just knows how to use them better than anyone else. The corporate battlefield she walks is full of deception, betrayal, and ambition, but she thrives here. She doesn't just survive the chaos, she shapes it, molds it, and prepares it for her ultimate play. While others scramble for temporary wins, she is thinking several steps ahead, ready to deliver the shockwave that will change everything. This is more than a personal vendetta. This is a carefully orchestrated strategy to claim power and send a warning. In Cami's world, no one is safe and no one is untouchable. Every interaction, every email, every handshake could be a step closer to a downfall. And the people who think they are untouchable are about to learn that the rules have changed, and Cami is the one rewriting them. Every corporate empire has cracks, and Cami knows exactly where to push. She has spent months quietly observing the people around her, the executives who think they're untouchable, the middle managers scrambling for relevance, and the silent influencers who pull strings behind closed doors. Each one has vulnerabilities, hidden ambitions, and secrets that could ruin them if exposed. She doesn't just see weaknesses, she catalogs them, studies them, and imagines how they can serve her plan. To the outside world, she appears calm, methodical, and almost invisible. But beneath that composed exterior is a mind calculating the perfect storm, a strategy that could topple even the most powerful players in the company. The stakes are higher than ever because this isn't about petty office politics anymore. Cami is aiming for the top, and anyone standing in her way risks everything: stock prices, business deals. Long-held alliances, nothing is safe from her strategy. The people who laugh at her subtle influence, thinking she's just another ambitious employee, have no idea that a single move from her could trigger a cascade of disasters. When her plan begins to unfold, it won't just be a ripple. It will be a wave strong enough to crash into every corner of the organization. No one will be able to predict the damage until it's too late. Tension is growing in the boardrooms and corridors. Executives are noticing small anomalies: files disappearing, whispered conversations, unusual approvals, and cryptic messages. Panic starts to bubble in small ways: a late email prompting urgent decisions, a sudden change in meeting schedules, a colleague calling in sick at the worst possible moment. These are the tiny signs of Cami's influence creeping into every part of the company. People feel that something is off but cannot pinpoint it. Cami is careful not to expose herself too early. She understands that anticipation and fear are more powerful than confrontation, and she uses them like a weapon. Every executive is unknowingly walking into a game she has already mapped out. Meanwhile, alliances are shifting, though no one sees the pattern yet. Former allies are now rivals, and rivals are making mistakes that will serve Cami's plan perfectly. She doesn't need to rush. Patience is her greatest advantage. As people make errors born of fear, overconfidence, or ignorance, she steps in at just the right moment to turn those mistakes to her favor. Every email she sends, every decision she influences, and every interaction she engineers is part of a larger puzzle that will soon reveal itself in full. By the time anyone realizes what is happening, it will already be too late to recover. The potential fallout isn't just professional, it's personal. Careers could be destroyed overnight, reputations shattered, and relationships irreparably damaged. Even the people who consider themselves untouchable could find their lives unraveling before their eyes. Deals they thought were secure could collapse, mergers could fail, and investors could panic. Cami's plan doesn't just threaten her rivals, it threatens the entire ecosystem of the company, forcing everyone to confront the fragility of their power. Every action, every misstep, every hidden truth can become ammunition in her hands, and she wields it with cold precision. Yet, despite the looming chaos, Cami remains invisible. While tension escalates and the company braces for unseen shocks, she maintains her calm demeanor, never showing the slightest hint of panic or triumph. Her ability to stay silent while letting events unfold is what makes her dangerous. She doesn't need to raise her voice or issue threats. The fear she cultivates is already doing the work for her. Executives second-guess themselves, colleagues hesitate, and decisions slow down under the weight of uncertainty, all while Cami watches, calculating her next strike. Her invisibility is a tool, and every misstep she encourages among her rivals is another step toward complete control. As the stakes rise, one truth becomes clear: in the coming days, The corporate battlefield will shift in ways no one expects. What was once stable will become volatile. What seemed safe will become fragile. And those who thought they were protected by status or influence will find themselves vulnerable. Cami doesn't just want to win, she wants to change the rules of the game entirely, proving that intelligence, patience, and strategy are far more powerful than titles, money, or fear. And when her plan fully unfolds, the company and everyone in it will have no choice but to acknowledge her dominance. Cami has been patient, observing and calculating, but now it's time to act. Her plan doesn't rely on brute force or open confrontation. It relies on precision, timing, and exploiting the cracks she has meticulously identified. The first step is subtle. She starts planting seeds of doubt among the key players. A carefully worded email here, an offhand remark in, a meeting there. At the same time, Cami is leveraging information that no one else realizes she has. She knows who owes favors, who has skeletons in the closet, and who will bend under pressure. She quietly begins to orchestrate situations where these vulnerabilities will be exposed, not by her hand directly, but by the missteps of those who are blinded by arrogance or fear. Every meeting she influences, every decision she comments on, every subtle nudge she provides is part of a larger choreography. By the time anyone notices the pattern, they will already be trapped in the consequences of their own actions. Cami's genius lies in letting others sabotage themselves while she remains untouchable, an unseen force guiding the outcome from the shadows. The impact of her moves begins to ripple across the company. Projects that were once progressing smoothly start to falter. Collaborators hesitate at critical moments, unsure of whom to trust. Information that was supposed to flow efficiently suddenly slows or disappears entirely, creating bottlenecks and frustrations. Executives start to blame each other for delays and mistakes, unaware that their confusion is exactly the situation Cami wanted to create by turning everyday tasks into subtle battlegrounds. She exerts influence without anyone realizing they are being manipulated. Every mistake, every conflict, every hint of tension moves her closer to her ultimate objective. But Cami's strategy isn't just about chaos. It's about control. While others are distracted by miscommunications and minor crises, she positions herself to capitalize on opportunities that only she can see. She begins to claim influence over projects that matter most, ensuring that when the dust settles, she will emerge not just intact but stronger than ever. Her rivals are too busy fighting imaginary threats and questioning their allies to notice her rise. Meanwhile, she collects intelligence, predicts reactions, and sets up contingencies for every possible outcome. Her moves are deliberate, methodical, and nearly impossible to counter because she doesn't reveal her true intentions. Even those who pride themselves on their corporate savvy cannot keep up. A sudden resignation here, a delayed approval there, a questionable contract that goes unnoticed. These seemingly minor events are carefully placed pieces in Cami's broader strategy. Every disruption she causes forces someone else to react in ways that ultimately play into her hands. By the time senior executives start to see patterns, the web is already complete, and every thread is connected to her ultimate plan. Her patience has allowed her to manipulate the entire system quietly, turning every decision, every action, and every misstep into tools for her advantage. Cami's next moves are not reckless gambles. They are calculated risks. She anticipates potential pitfalls and prepares solutions in advance. When an obstacle appears, she is ready to pivot, redirect, or exploit it. Her ability to think several steps ahead ensures that the chaos she creates never touches her directly. She orchestrates, manipulates, and then steps back to watch the consequences unfold. Those who thought themselves untouchable begin to feel the pressure, and the tension becomes almost unbearable. Colleagues start to make desperate decisions, alliances crumble, and the company begins to feel the subtle but devastating effects of her plan. By the end of this phase, it becomes clear Cami is no longer just another ambitious employee. She is a strategist, a puppeteer, and a force that no one can predict or contain. Every move she makes, every calculation she executes, brings her closer to her ultimate goal. Those around her are caught in a storm of confusion, mistrust, and subtle manipulation, while she remains in complete control, invisible but all-seeing. And in the quiet, behind-the-scenes corridors of the corporate empire, Cami prepares for the next stage, one that could change everything forever. Leaving rivals exposed and the company trembling in the wake of her next calculated strike, the effects of Cami's maneuvers are no longer subtle. The company that once ran like a well-oiled machine is now showing cracks that widen by the hour. Executives who thought they were secure begin to feel the pressure, their confidence shaken, as projects falter and deadlines slip. Emails go unanswered, calls are ignored, and crucial meetings are postponed or canceled at the worst possible moments. What once seemed like minor disruptions now compound into a pervasive sense of unease. Colleagues whisper about mistakes that shouldn't have happened, and fingers start pointing in every direction. Nobody suspects the invisible hand orchestrating this chaos, and that is exactly what Cami wants. The boardroom, once a place of careful negotiation and controlled decisions, has become a battlefield of paranoia and mistrust. Alliances are collapsing, and those who once relied on each other now hesitate at every suggestion, fearful that they might be manipulated or outmaneuvered. Even the most experienced executives, who have weathered crises before, find themselves questioning the loyalty and intentions of those around them. Every conversation carries a hidden weight. Every decision feels like it could be the wrong one. Cami's influence spreads silently, yet its presence is undeniable, felt in every hesitation, every misstep, and every small panic that ripples. Across the company, her rivals are desperate to regain control, but their reactions only accelerate the chaos. Some make reckless decisions, cutting corners or approving questionable deals in a bid to prove competence. Others try to investigate the disruptions, digging into emails, contracts, and meetings, but the trail leads nowhere. Cami anticipated these moves and has already built contingencies. She doesn't need to confront anyone directly. The company is imploding from within, fueled by fear, mistrust, and overconfidence. She watches as mistakes multiply, as opportunities are missed, and as rivalries intensify, knowing that each error strengthens her position. Meanwhile, the financial implications begin to surface. Stockholders notice unusual activity. Deals that were expected to close smoothly now stall or collapse entirely. Partners who trusted the company start questioning its stability. And rumors begin circulating outside the walls of the corporate empire. Internally, the employees feel the pressure of an invisible hand that seems to control outcomes without explanation. Tension becomes a constant companion, a low hum of anxiety that permeates every department. The organization is still standing, but it feels unstable, as though a single misstep could trigger a cascade of failures. And that misstep is exactly what Cami has been waiting for. Even those who thought they were safe begin to realize that they are not immune. Old rivalries resurface as minor slights are magnified under stress. Alliances that seemed unbreakable fracture under the weight of fear and uncertainty. Cami's opponents scramble to find leverage or support, but her web of manipulation has anticipated their moves. Each attempt to counter her influence only plays into her hands, creating new openings for her to exploit. Every email misread, every hastily made decision, and every act of desperation contributes to the growing instability she has designed. The personal stakes rise alongside the professional chaos. Careers, reputations, and long-term ambitions hang. In the balance, those who underestimate the subtlety of her tactics are blindsided when confidential information leaks, deals fail unexpectedly, or partnerships dissolve at critical moments. Stress becomes nearly unbearable for some, and mistakes born from fear compound rapidly. Colleagues begin to look over their shoulders, wondering who can be trusted. By controlling the environment of doubt and fear, Cami effectively turns every individual into a pawn in her larger strategy. Despite the escalating chaos, Cami remains composed, almost untouchable. Her calm is unsettling to those around her because no one can predict when or where she will strike next, while everyone else reacts emotionally, making impulsive or reckless decisions. She remains patient, executing her plan step by step. Her quiet control contrasts sharply with the panic around her, making her influence even more powerful. In this storm of corporate tension, she is a place of calm observation and meticulous planning. As the fallout grows, the inevitability of her dominance becomes clear. Colleagues are scrambling, rivals are faltering, and the company itself teeters on the brink of disorder. Cami doesn't just want control. She wants to prove a point. No one can anticipate her moves. No one can outsmart her, and no one is safe from the consequences of underestimating her. Every misstep she has induced, every alliance she has destabilized, and every opportunity she has engineered brings her closer to the ultimate revelation of power. The corporate battlefield has transformed into her arena, and those who thought they were players now realize they may only be pieces in her carefully orchestrated game. By the end of this stage, the company feels unrecognizable. Orders are disrupted, alliances are fractured, and tensions are at a breaking point. Everyone knows something has changed, but the true architect of the upheaval remains hidden. Cami's careful, calculated moves have forced chaos to spread without her touching a single individual directly. She is no longer simply reacting to the world around her. She is shaping it, bending it, and preparing it for the final phase, where the full impact of her strategy will be revealed. And when that moment comes, nothing and no one will ever be the same.